All right, guys, top of the morning. Happy August 27th, coming to you alive, coming to you well slept, coming to you after sending our two girls off to Kentucky yesterday. My wife's niece had twins, and so the girls took their first flight together all the way to the East Coast, and excited to watch them go and spread their wings and have some fun in Kentucky and do some cool stuff. I think they're going to go mudding, they're going to go caving, they're going to do some really cool stuff. And so excited to see them go out there and spread their wings. But you guys, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to make this conversation all about you. Obviously, we have the Tom Ferry Live Summit or live stream going on in the offices in Oakland as well as in Stockton. If you're in the surrounding areas and you'd like to join us, feel free to roll up to the office. We do not charge for that. Come in and enjoy yourself, take notes, have some fun. But while we have you here, we're going to go full tilt with the content for the day. And so I'm going to have somebody bring us out on the field, as always, set the tone, set the sentiment, and really kind of share what their thoughts are. And that person is going to be Michael Swanson. So Michael Swanson, he is an honorary guest of ours. He's been on the team at one time, but dude's doing really big things on a social platform. He is truly taking off and getting all kinds of opportunities to speak and be in different groups and do, panels and be on the news. And so we'd love to hear from you, big dog. Give us your thoughts and sentiment as you bring us out on the field on this amazing Wednesday morning. Let's roll.
It's Wednesday, it's hump day, it's the middle of the week. It's time to grind and go harder. For the people that are watching Tom Ferry, I hope you guys get a lot from it. And for the ones that are not and that are out in the field, let's get it today. Let's get some new leads. Let's talk to at least 10 people. 10 people a day is what I like to say. So let's get out there and meet some new contacts, talk to people, and let's close some deals.
Yeah. Absolutely love this. I absolutely love this. So you guys, as we start out our session today, I want to give you some thoughts. I want to give you some context, and I want you guys to think about something right now. As we are growing in our business and as we are developing our skills, as we're building out our systems, as we're building out building up our confidence, what to say, how to say it, why to say it, our operational efficiencies, as we're building all of these things, what I want you guys to really think about, and the question I want you to ask yourself is that when you choose not to do something, choose to procrastinate, put something off, I want you to ask yourself in that moment, right then, the moment procrastination steps in, I want you to ask yourself a very simple question. What would the CEO of this company do right now? I want you to think about that because a lot of you are still operating in the mindset of an agent, right? And you guys are not agents. At the end of the day, we are all CEOs of our business. And so when you think about the identity shift that happens from I am an agent and I'm a realtor versus I am a CEO of my business, what happens is that the identity starts to shift. Because what I mean by that is if you have an identity as a CEO in your business right now, what is going to happen is that you are going to show up differently. Your behaviors are different. Hopefully your habits are different. The way that you structure your business is different. The way that you look at your business holistically, where it's going, how you're forecasting, how you're going to do your marketing plan from now till December 31st, what Q1 of 2026 looks like, what is the momentum, the strategy, the messaging, the campaigns. Like you're literally going to start thinking about things way differently. You see, the agent, what you guys do as agents, you do a really good job of when you're in the pocket. What I mean is in the pocket is when you're in the moment, right? I got clients that tell me that they're always on the go. And then you pull back the veil of their business and there's some challenges in the business, right? And so what I want you guys to do is I want you to think about being a CEO. I want you to say to yourself every single day, what would a CEO do right now? And when you truly put yourself in that identity, my hope is that you start to think and feel differently about where your business is going. You see, I'm already looking at 2026. I'm already thinking about how we're going to close out this year. I'm already thinking about campaigns, training, events, Focus and Fire, our year in review party, our year in review, meeting that we do in February. Like I'm already thinking about these things because I want you guys, I want the same thing for you guys is to be able to look at the big picture of your business, right? When we think about from now until September 31st, we've been having these conversations about you guys building a strategic marketing plan. Think about all the things that we should be and can be marketing to from now until the end of the year. It is endless. You're either going to get to January, you're going to be like, damn it, I missed all that. Or you're going to look back at your list and be like, wow, I was able to execute on 20 different marketing campaigns from Suicide, Awareness Month, from Cancer Month, from Hispanic Heritage Month, to Christmas, to New Year's, to fall festivals, to Christmas lights, to Christmas, all these things. You're either going to look at that list and be super proud, or you're going to say, you know what, I missed an opportunity. As a CEO, you're going to look at your marketing campaigns, you're going to look at your accounts payable, your accounts receivable, you're going to look at your sales department, and you're going to take ownership of that and say, you know what, I am the one that's at the helm. In order for all these departments to make money, to be fed, and to grow, it is going to be my responsibility. You have to own that, and you have to look at yourself and say, you know what, this is separation season. From now until the end of the year, you guys, this is the time that is truly going to separate you. How do you want to end this year? You have to make a declaration. You have to stand on your principles, and you have to have the CEO mindset to say, you know what, I'm going to make some necessary changes. I'm going to put my marketing plan into effect. I'm going to put those things on my calendar. I'm going to know the campaigns, the marketing pieces, all the material that I'm going to need, and I'm going to make sure that I am closing out this year strong. I'm already want to tell you guys Happy New Year, because it is already here. It is already here. So you guys need to be thinking about your business in a true CEO mentality and making sure that you're planning, prepping, preparing, and you're truly operating as a boss in this business. Does that make sense, you guys? All right, cool. So as we start out that conversation, does anybody have anything that they want to share, contribute, any thoughts, insight as we get the ball rolling on this beautiful Wednesday morning? Let's go, Ashley. What do you got for us?
So when I worked at the bank and I was an assistant manager, I had someone give me such a gift of mindset. My district manager came over and was like, "I need you to stop thinking like a banker. I need you to start thinking like an assistant manager." And then he stopped and he goes, "Now I need you to start thinking like a manager." And then he stops. He goes, "Now I need you to start thinking like a district manager. And now I need you to start thinking like the CEO." And when your brain goes through those like evolutions, you really do start thinking you're not just yourself. If you want your business to run like a business and grow, you have to step out of it and work on it to better be able to work in it. What would you do? It's like the 10x is easier than 2x. What would you do if you had to make whatever your goal is in a certain amount of time that was small? You would act differently. You would work on your business to get your systems better so that you can remove friction and do things faster and more efficiently.
Yeah, 100%. And listen, you guys, I've been thinking about this long and hard over the last few weeks, and we've talked obviously of psychology, but it's the psychology of where we are as agents. You know, we went from pivot, we went to readjust, we went to readvise when, you know, this NAR settlement came out. And now the conversation that I'm in constantly, and it's happening and it's echoing in every single room that I'm in, every mastermind, every event. It is the identity work. It is the identity conversation. This is our identity era. You see, we're in rooms like this for you guys to be able to look inward and say, you know what is my identity? How has that changed? How does that need to evolve? And where am I at? And a lot of us need to update our operating system. We operate on old software that needs to be updated. We're on iOS 4. We need to be on 11. And see, the identity conversation keeps on coming up over and over and over again. And I'll give you that example. You see, my identity as the director of sales and coaching for Fast Real Estate is different than my identity as a direct coach for somebody. It's a completely different mindset and it's a completely different identity. And so, you guys, this is our identity era, right? This is why we have these conversations over and over and over again. And my hope is that if we have that conversation enough in these rooms, that something in you switches. You realize something within yourself and say, you know what? I'm going to make some changes. I got to start thinking, behaving, showing up differently, have a different energy, a different swag, a different bravado, a different way of communicating that operates in a different identity. And I promise you guys, when you do that deep work, when you start to dial that in, all things start to change externally. When you think abundance, when you think of an identity of abundance, what happens externally, abundance starts to come to you. Abundant opportunities start to come to you. And so I'm going to go to Evangeline. Anybody else has a contribution before we officially get rolling? Feel free to throw your hand up, get involved in the conversation. Let's go, Evangeline.
I think it's really interesting and no coincidence that these are some of the conversations I've been having with like prospective agents, because I've been having people reaching out to me saying like, hey, I'm thinking about getting into real estate, you know, this and that. I'm like, okay, well, what is it about real estate that you're intrigued about? Like, what's your goal? What's your vision? Do you want to help people? Do you want to do that? What is it? And it's like, I just want to make a bunch of money. It's like, that's a fair motive too. But like, you know, the biggest thing I'll be telling people is like, you can't come into this just thinking you're going to make a bunch of money. Are you ready to be your own CEO, to be your own boss, where, you know, people love the glamour side, right, of things where, yeah, you don't report to a boss, you know, whatever. But if you fail, that's also on you. If you succeed, that's on you. But if you fail, it's also entirely on you, right? So I think that so many people get into this, and it's like you're waiting for someone to tell you what to do. You're still having that 9 to 5 clocking in mindset, when in reality, this is all on you. So it's not this is not a get rich quick scheme. It's hard work for sure.
That's right. Yeah, man, I really resonate with that. And anybody else have a thought contribution on that vein before we start to shift gears? Would love to open up to you guys. And Kelly, good to see your face, Miss Hilker. All right, going once, going twice. You know, you guys, we are going to continuously do that work. But I had a question for you guys, and I want to ask you guys this because I think it's really, really important. As you guys are starting to evolve and starting to grow, and some of you have had remarkable years, you guys are making more money than you've ever made in your life. I want you guys to ask yourself this very, very simple question, and allow this to come up on the screen. I want you to ask yourself, who is your super who? And it's very, very simple. Think about your business right now. Maybe that is a virtual assistant, right? Let's just think about this. Let's just think about you having a virtual assistant. Maybe that's a super who. You see, I have a Vernon, I have a Judith, I have a Roma. I have these people that are super who's that continue to carry that message and execute at a high level. You see, a lot of us need to look at our business and we need to say, who is that super who in our life? Who's that person that I can start to delegate, who I can start to give some of my, tasks to? Who can take some of these things off of my plate? Like, identify a super who. And if you're brand new, this might not be applicable, but as you grow in your business, you might get to a super who is saying, you know what, that needs to be a marketing assistant. And who's to say that you on this call cannot share a marketing assistant? You're paying $3, that person's paying $3 an hour, and you got them for 20 hours a week. Invest in that so you can get back more time to amplify your talent. You see, a super who allows you to amplify your talent and to walk further into your purpose. When you don't have a super who, guess who has to be a super who for the entire business? It's you, my friend. And those are things that you're doing that might not serve you, that you might not be good at. And so I have a Judith as an executive assistant. I have a Roma. I have somebody that could coach at a high level, right? And so when I'm thinking about this, I think about you guys. Who is that super who? For some of you, you might be running around showing homes like crazy, but your business is pretty solid. Can you create a showing partner to where that person just does all of your showings, And then what you do is you debrief with that client after every single showing. Now, I'm not saying that that person is doing all of the negotiations. That's not what they're there for. They are a professional door opener, and they get paid a fraction of closed GCI on every single deal. So think about that. You got back 20 hours, 10 hours, 5 hours of you driving to 6 cities on the weekend, right? And that person is out there showing, greetings, salutations. Any questions, material facts, they come to you. You debrief. Hey guys, what's up? It's Elias. I want to see what you thought about those houses that Princess showed you today. All right, cool. Any of those that you thought you want to write an offer on? All right, cool. What was their favorite one? All right, cool. Let's keep going. And then when they finally want to write, you're on that buyer consultation. You're the one negotiating on the back end. But that drive time, that constant showing, I'm just giving you an example. That's a super who. That's a super who that allows you to amplify your talents. A super who could be that person that works on all of your marketing. Obviously, we have people internally to help you if you're on the team. However, maybe you just need somebody that specializes in working for you, runs all of your campaigns, does all of your back end work, creates your blogs, creates your funnels, creates everything for you, that if you were going to learn that shit, it would take you hours and hours and hours. Super who is very, very important. Let's go to Otis, and we're shift gears. We're going to get into the conversation about the market in just a moment. Let's go, O.
That was deep, dog. I mean, that was a lot of what I was gonna say. It kind of sits foot where you're at in your business. I remember when I started like a whole year with no money, no insight on a real client. And I think that that's a lot of frustration and lack of why the 89% of people don't make it in this business, because I hate to say it, it comes down to the greed, whether it's greedy with the money, greedy with the time, greedy with you wanting to have your hands on everything. For the agents that's struggling, he just put it out there like, get over the terms that you're not going to make 50% in the deal, but gladly take that 20, gladly take that 30, gladly take the 15, because it's something. And hopefully you're getting paired with a good agent or somebody that's teaching you the right ways, because you're getting paid. This business is a barter system on something with time, but there's always going to be some type of compensation or some type of give back of information. And that's what it started with me. Like, I started being that showing agent. And I remember Mark Otis giving me the opportunity to partner on my fourth deal. Not only was it going to be my first huge deal out of the first three that I was going to get busted down, but I learned so much. I did like 75 to 100 properties with that one client, and I became a master in looking at reports. I became a master in open up doors. So I was able to free myself of being a slave to being in my car damn near 24 hours a day, to be able to start practicing more on contracts and learning the other part of the business. And I have these conversations with my main partner, Jacob. And for anybody that knows, you with me, you can work your way up from a 30, 40, 50 full on partnership. Because it's like, I'm a fair agent, and I'm going to see if you do 50% of the work, you're going to get 50% of the money. And sometimes you can do 25% of the work or 30% of the work and still get the 50. It's all about learning and progressing your time. Once you start coming, like dealing with 10, 5, 20, 30 people, 100, 80, 85 at a time, it's a lot. So that's a great point on putting it out there. So you can learn so much. You can be getting them $300 a door, but hopefully you look at the Slack channel and you see that partnership there, and you see someone wanting to partner and help you out. So I think that was a great conversation to have. And for anybody else to want to put into it, like, some people might not want to help, but there's a huge amount of people, damn near everybody on this team will help you in the sense of a partnership. So I would wisen up to the people that are struggling and need some transactions and want to get out of that 50-50 and just get some money in their pocket. There's a lot of agents that's looking for help. Me, myself, and pun intended, I'm always looking to partner with somebody, so at the end of the day, reach out and use your powership so you can get through this year and not be one of them people that's on the opposite side of that 89%.
Really, really good stuff. You guys, here's some statistics for you. 1,065,000 agents this year have not sold one house in this part of 2025. Now, if you're new, then this does not apply to you, or excuse me, 2025. This doesn't apply. This is not applicable. But think about that. There's so many people that get this real estate license and then they don't give it the honor that it deserves, right? There's nothing honorable about having a real estate license and you sit on your laurels. There's nothing honorable about that. This business is about grit. It's about hustle. It's about systems. It's about operational efficiencies. These are the things that we know are going to push you forward. And remember what we talked about on Monday. You guys are building circuits in your brain right now. You see, the mind operates on millions of neurons. And so you have a neuron that is firing right now that is saying, I'm resilient, right? Every single time that I do something that is hard in this business, I make the phone call, I knock on the doors, I create the shitty video, whatever it is, that new circuit is continuously building and building and building. And now you have a resilient circuit. So what do? As you are chest out, shoulders back, head up, and you are walking into hard things. You accept it, you want it, you run towards hard things. Or you are building a circuitry that is built on weakness. You build a circuitry on weakness because you don't step up. You don't do hard things. As soon as things get a little bit of pressure on you, what do? Is you turn your whip around and you go the other way. You see, that's a circuitry that is not serving you. And you, my friends, are responsible for that. You're responsible for how your mind is operating right now. Those pathways and that neuroplasticity that we talk about, you guys, that is your responsibility. So are you building a circuit of resilience? Are you building circuitry of weakness? It's for you guys to think about. Every single time that you don't do something that you told yourself that you were going to do, weakness, weakness. But every single time you fight through discomfort, that circuit of resilience continues to grow and continues to build. And now you have become this solid, strong-minded person. No matter what happens in the economy, the trauma, the drama, the issues, the market, the ups, the down, the bull market, the seller's market, the buyer's market, it doesn't matter. You are a fortress because your circuitry is programmed for resilience, not weakness. Does that make sense, everybody? Love to get your thoughts and feedback on that. Vernon, good to see you. I know you're on the East Coast, my man. Let's get your contribution, and we'll go Aaron Crisp, and then we'll go Kelly, and then we're going to talk about some cool things in the market right now. Let's roll.
So that last message, E, was right on time. And I'm sure everybody else on this call recognizes, but that feedback there in terms of being able to wire our brain and our circuitry is bigger than real estate. That's applicable to life. Like on some real shit. I mean, I'm having an experience as I'm speaking to you right now, and that message is like, yo, pull up your bootstraps. I can rewire the circuitries of my brain, right? And exercise through neuroplasticity, the resilient factor. And it applies in life, benefits in business, but that was a life lesson that you just dropped right there. And so I just really needed to highlight that. That was perfect timing for me personally, what I'm going through right now, as a reminder that I have the power to rewire my brain to function on specific frequencies. I control that. And so, shit, bro, that was right on time. That's all I got.
Appreciate you, Vernon. Kelly, I'm gonna go to you really quick. And I shared this the other day, but I think it's applicable one more time. Every skipped rep of discomfort is a missed rep of growth. But every time you choose courage, you literally upgrade your brain's operating system. Imagine your business if you rewired your brain daily, and imagine your life 6 months from now, where you would be, how you would feel, and what that identity would be like. Kelly Hilker, let's hear from you. Then we'll go deep Bledsoe. What do we got, Kelly?
So as far as being resilient, that is, like I put in the chat, that's my middle name, because I, just closed on 2 transactions on Friday, and we were in and out of contract 4 different times for my seller. And it was a roller coaster ride. And then we were in and out of contract 2 times on her replacement property. Anyway, long story short, I stuck in it, man. There were so many things that a lot of people would have quit. A lot of people would have said, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. And I didn't. I stuck through it. And they tell me that I'm like an angel sent from above. She lost her husband. The kid lost her father. And they said, you know what, you were sent from above. And that to me is the biggest, like, just made me feel so good, because I'm all about helping people, and I stuck through, and this family needed me. And so that was very powerful. One other thing. So I got into contract on my other listing yesterday. And this is another deal where it's like, man, it's a couple that split, and I just am in the middle, like having to be this freaking mediator. And like, I had called Chris the other day because it's up in Sacramento, and I was like, God, this guy's a complete a-hole, and I don't really want to deal with him anymore. So I called Chris, and I'm like, hey, Chris, you down to partner up? I got to sell this house, and I got to get him a replacement property too. He's like, yeah, Kel, I'm down, let's roll. Well, anyway, I ended up getting into, coming to an agreement, getting him to sign. And so we are in contract. So anyway, on that resilience factor, it's all about pushing through, and do not let the enemy get you. Do not let yourself down. Do not let other people down, and keep it moving.
Man, Kelly, good to see you. Great to have you back. So happy for you. Let's go deep Bledsoe, and then we're going to shift conversation. Oh, we'll go Aaron Chris too. We'll go deep Bledsoe, Aaron Chris, then we'll shift conversations. Let's go deep.
No, really interesting, and I like piggybacking off of Kelly, because it's no mistake that she's in these similar situations with sellers. It's because she's prepared to handle that type of person and what they're going through. And I'm reading a book on this right now that's talking about using trauma to serve your purpose in this world. But it's like the things that we go through, we're able to help other people because of that. So when you look at it like that, you have all the purpose in the world, you have all the reason, but you have to use that to do your job. You have to use that to do what you're here to do. Like, again, there's certain people that we're all supposed to serve. There's certain people that we're all supposed to be helping. But if we're in our head and scared and trepidatious, we're getting in the way of serving that purpose. So just continue to look towards what it is that you're good at, what you went through, and use that shit to help somebody else. And then lastly, along that same line, it is pretty silly, but it connects. I've been watching this cartoon that my boy put me on. It's called Invincible, and it's like an adult superhero cartoon. Totally not my shit. I don't get into superheroes and all that, but it's so metaphoric for life, because it's like people that live forever versus humans that don't. And the perspective on it is that we're so fragile and this shit is so short. Just do as much of the superhero shit as you can in the span that you have, and that'll be the impact that you leave. But yeah, watch Invincible is hella good.
Yeah, I love this. I love this. Let's go Aaron Crisp, and then we'll shift gears in the conversation. What do you got for us, big dog?
Kelly hit something that resonated with me, and it's this market for this, where I had a West Oakland deal that was on the market for a minute, three different buyers in and out. And so this market is kind of like that, and you need to have resilience. And then the other part of what we're saying is at the end of the day, when you choose courage, when you choose to be resilient, you come out on the other end, that sense of pride, like what would you rather have, that sense of pride or that sense of regret that you didn't chase something? And so it almost is one of those things, just for your own mental well-being, you need to push through for that courage, because the feeling at the end of that is compared to the feeling at the end of not, doing something, not leaving some on the table. I mean, all of us here, I know myself, I've had things like when I was in the 20s, dang, I should have did this or I should have did that I didn't do. And that stuff hangs around with you in a negative way. Whereas when you push through and you do what you need to do and you accomplish it at the other end and you think, damn, that was hard, but I made it. That is like, I mean, that just, I can't, that's just what it is.
You know what? It is this circuitry, you guys. And in this last year, like I said, the conversation, we're in an identity era. And so these conversations about circuitry, neuroplasticity, identity, framework, like these conversations are the real conversations. These are the powerful conversations that are going to move us forward in life and business. And so I'm going to share a couple things with you about the market. We're going to shift gears and we're going to come full circle back on this conversation. But D Bledsoe, I thought about you yesterday because I got a new record in, and I haven't even know. I have literally the plastic just came off it right now. But I'm building my hip hop era of collection. And so one of my favorite hip hop albums. So I thought about you this morning. So let's go into this really quick. So a couple things obviously that are happening around us in our market. Now I just want to pull a couple of these articles up for you guys so you guys can take a look at that. And so San Francisco office demand spikes to highest level since pandemic, because obviously now people are going back to work. And so if you're serving in that condo market, what we're seeing in that condo market in San Francisco is that when we look at this year over year, there's been about a 3.8% decrease in values year over year. So what that says is that even though people are moving back to the city, there still may be an opportunity for them to get a really good deal on a condo. However, as more people move back into the city, what will happen is that these things will start to catch up. More people are going to swoop up on these opportunities. When we go into 2026, a lot of these opportunities are going to look a little bit differently. And so I want you guys to just be able to be aware of what's going on. I'll share this report in the chat down below. That way you guys can see this. And I want you guys to be able to do your homework, do your research, and see what's going on in your surrounding areas. Now, obviously, there's going to be city-specific and market or area-specific, but I want you guys to make sure you do your homework. You can see on this list, Oakland is on here, San Francisco is on here, Stockton is on here, Sacramento, California is on here. And so you guys look at these reports and be able to ask yourself, well, how do I communicate this to my people? How do I communicate this to my sellers when we're at the table? We might not get what we're going to net on this home, but we may make it up on the buy side in the form of concessions. And so I just want you to be conscious about what's happening around us. So if you go into this report, you guys can download it, you guys can look at it, you guys can study it. And there's a couple other things that I want to bring to your awareness. As you guys know, obviously the creation of ADUs has been super important and prevalent in our market. And San Jose, this article just came out that states that San Jose becomes the first city to allow San Jose becomes the first California city to allow sale of ADUs as condos. So I want you guys to really start thinking about this. When you have past clients that have closed, and maybe they closed a couple years ago, The conversation should be a little bit different. That conversation should go down the route of a portfolio review. As a trusted professional, this is a conversation to have with your consumers from the day that they close until end of time. You see, what we need to do is we need to position ourselves as people that are there to help them manage their portfolio from now until the end of time. You see, 86% of consumers said that if they could choose their realtor, the same realtor that they worked with the first time, to help them with their second purchase, that they would work with that person. But only 12% of consumers actually do so. Why? Because we don't do a great enough job at following up for a lifetime. We don't do a great enough job at helping them leverage the mass amounts of equity that they've built in their property. You go back to your portfolio, you see those consumers that purchase the house with a decent sized lot that could potentially put an ADU that they can eventually sell as a condo later on and then keep their original property. You guys, there's so many opportunities. But you, as a trusted professional, have to put yourself in a position to say, I am that portfolio review specialist, right? When you check in with the consumer after 6 months, 1 year, 2 years of them owning their house, you need to be calling them and saying, listen, I'm doing something cool for all my past clients. What I'm doing is a portfolio review. I'm going to share with you the interest rates. I'm going to share with you what the houses are worth now. I'm going to share with you what happening if you chose to put your house on the market and rented it. Or I'm going to show you how to leverage that, put an ADU or buy an investment property so you can diversify this asset. You guys, that's the position that we need to take. Not wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, when we close and we're on to the next one. You guys need to put a system in place that's going to allow you to touch them for the rest of their life. When they think real estate, they're thinking Dominique. When they're thinking real estate, they're thinking Otis. And so what I want you guys to do is be conscious of what's happening around you. If you're in our Slack channel, we put tons and tons of information in our Slack channel so you guys know exactly what is happening around you. But if you're not spending that time every single day reading and then doing quick market updates about what's going on around you, you're missing opportunities. People want to come to you as the foremost authority for everything that's happening in real estate. This group right here will not be a part of this narrative of 1,065,000 agents in the United States of America that haven't sold shit. We are not going to be a part of that statistic. So it makes you what I want to convey to you is this should make you say, you know what? Am I really spending the time and becoming an expert on my industry? Am I spending the time reading the articles? Am I putting my stuff into chat? Am I really putting together my thought tracks? Am I spending that time researching this market and then conveying it at a high level? And we're going to put that to the test in just a minute. But I saw a hand up. Let's go to Otis. Otis, what do you got for us, big dog?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Elias. A lot of the time I have conversations with other agents and stuff, and they ask me about that. Like, what do you do? It's like they don't see the other stuff behind the scenes, like, running comps and all the regular. You should be great at that. What are you doing outside of that to get in your bag? Like, how do you practice your rebuttals? Does anybody on this call even do that? I mean, we all spend so much time on the script, or we spend so much time on what we're gonna put out our mouth, but are you willing to like actually listen? That's going to come back to what to relay on and what to say back that. So I practice on rebuttals. I always have something, and I'm glad that you guys implemented that in intensity, because I had did that a little bit before, but I haven't stopped doing that to this day. I've always read up on articles, like when you talked about the San Francisco market. It isn't a market I really don't know about. So when the clients I can't stand when clients ask me, "Oh, do you live in the area?" I don't have to live in your area, sir. I'm an area expert everywhere. I do my homework. At the end of the job, I'm going to be prepared for you. So, knowing some of those things and knowing that, in San Francisco, a lot of those tech company workers that work for some of those companies, they're all under like sister companies from one of the mother companies, and that company just gave out like damn near $1 million to each one of those employees. So there's big bonuses going around with a lot of people that are going to be looking in that San Francisco market, because it's right down there next to Salesforce, next to all the places where they're going to be working. And some of those people are robotic. They don't like to have to go so far off. They want to be able to go downstairs from their apartment, downstairs right to work, and walking back and forth in that same area. So you got to know your clients too. You got to practice on the people that you think you might get and the people that you won't get at price points all over, and knowing how to navigate through that. And that's one time that most of the time I'm always getting on Jacob, like, hey man, you need to spend some time learning the outside of things that that factor into the whole being of you being a realtor. So I'm really glad that you brought up that point. You got to really be on your shit.
I absolutely love that. Appreciate you, Otis, as always. I'm going to bring this up, you guys. I literally, in preparation for our meeting, I was just in chat and I was saying, okay, what are some things that we can really think about and talk about? State of the market. We're obviously going to have a couple of you share, but this gave me a national pulse, Bay Area pulse. I have, conversation points in here. And then what it did is it created every single article that was sourced from this, all of the videos, all the Reddit conversations. And now I could just spend 30 minutes going through this and I'm way smarter about what's happening in the market versus me not doing anything. So if you're looking at like, well, what do I do? Just go into chat and tell chat, create me a list of local stats in my Sacramento market on the real estate nuances, patterns, conditions. Also share with me national news that's driving consumer behavior. Put it through in a conversation style tone. That way I can share this information with my consumer. Do that, and I promise you, you're going to get some really good stuff. And if anything, you're going to have a list of sources for you to go and read information about the local market. You guys, it is really important that we constantly have this conversation, especially on Wednesdays when we talk about nuances, patterns, and conditions that are driving our market. And so I'm going to stop for a quick second. I want to go to 3 to 5 people, and I want them to share with me what they're saying about the market to the consumers. And also, I want you guys to be very conscious about your ability not to sell. I heard a video earlier from John Cheplack, and he said, we have to know when to sell and when not to sell. We always talk about this, being able to actively listen, being quiet, making it about their agenda, not ours. But we're always so quick to sell. Oftentimes, we just need to sit back in the cuts. We need to listen with intent. And then we need to respond based on their agenda, not ours, because people can feel that when we make it about ourselves. So I need 3 brave souls to get involved in the conversation. We're going to sit back. We're going to have a popcorn rapid fire session. You're going to tell me about the conditions, nuances, and patterns of the market. And so if I don't get anybody to raise their hand and know who's exempt from this part of it, Ashley's exempt, Otis is exempt, and Jeff is exempt for this small portion. So I need 3 people to get involved. And if you don't throw your hand up in 5 seconds, I'm just going to call on you. All right, I got 1. All right, cool. Here's how it's going to go. It's going to be Oliver, it's going to be Mara, and it's going to be TT. You ready? Cool. Oliver, you're up first, big dog. Give us some thoughts, patterns, conditions, what you're experiencing in the marketplace, and how you're communicating with a consumer today. Let's roll.
Yeah. Hi, guys. So I'm new in the group, so I just wanted to say hi to everyone. Happy to be here. So I think I have a bit of a different approach in my business. I do mostly wholesaling, right? And what I do my own marketing. And this is what I want to share with the group. For the past year, I'm marketing to, property owner who wants a cash offer, essentially, right? But for like a year, it was like, really only people who wanted cash offer and the properties were not on the market. But for the past 3 months, I'm having a huge amount of owners who are already on the market and their properties are not selling. And so they're still responding to my ad, say, yeah, I want a cash offer, right? And now I go look them up and I realize the property is already listed on the market. So just from my perspectives, this gives me a huge indication that, of the struggle, obviously, of selling on the market right now, because those people are not realistic on price and they're not getting what they want. So now they reach out to me because they need some help. So that's the main thing I wanted to share, just from my perspective, is this was not happening 4 months ago. And since 4 months, it's starting to happen a lot. And now I'm having a lot of conversations from those homeowners. They're not selling and they want help. And so what is great, and which is why I'm excited now to start working as an agent as well, is I'll be able to maybe see if I can offer a cash offer. But if not, I'll try to get the listing and help them that way. So this is what I wanted to share.
This is really, really good stuff. So we have a Zillow seller program, as you guys know, and in the Zillow seller program, most of those leads call in because they want to know about a cash offer. And then Zillow directly connects them to one of our agents. And so the conversation is always like, oh, well, we thought we were getting connected with a cash offer. Well, what we need to do is we need to book that appointment and have that conversation about a cash offer. Here's a couple of companies we work with. We work with HomeLight, we work with Revive, and they can offer you a cash offer for the property. And then if you want to have the conversation about us hitting the open market, I'd love to come back and take you through that full consultation. But, like that's prevalent right now because people would in some cases, depending on motivation, they might be willing to take a little bit less if they could just be done with the transaction, get a full cash offer, and then potentially make some of that difference up on the buy side. So Oliver, really, really good stuff. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to the team. It's good to have you here. Let's go to Mara. Mara, you are up next. If somebody says right now, Mara, how's the market in the Napa surrounding areas? Tell me a little bit about, from your vantage point, the communication you're having with consumers. Let's roll.
So the market is still a very balanced market. A lot of people are saying that, oh, it's turning into a buyer's market. Not in the Napa Valley. We're very different here. We don't follow the trends of the rest of California. So we have a lot of homes that are on the market right now.
Let me pause you for a quick second. Why do you guys not follow the trends? Is it just because it is a vacation place? It is a secondary home market? Like, why do you guys not follow those trends? I'm curious.
It's not the vacation homes and it's not the secondary market homes. What it is people come here to retire or they come here to raise small families. So where in the market, we're always saying, oh, 5-7 years, right? People buy and sell 5 to 7 years, right? We all can agree that's what we hear all the time. It's not the case for Napa. We have people who live in their homes a lot longer here. That's our trend. So people buy into their house and then they don't sell it for 20, 30, 50. I was talking to one of my older folks who, that's kind of my market, and they have lived in their home for 70 years. So that's the market we see here, which is why it's so difficult to break into. One, as a real estate agent, and then two, we just don't see that kind of volume move through the Napa Valley. The one thing that is changing in this valley is that we are starting to get some more new builds. There's not a whole lot of area because, again, we are a valley and there's so much of it that's designated to the winery. So we can't just, different from like Central Valley where you just see a plot of land and you're like, all right, we're cleaning that out and we're bringing in and we're going to put up a bunch of houses. We can't do that here because we're surrounded by vineyards that are locked in. And then we have hills. So there's nowhere to go. So that's why we also don't see the growth that other parts of California see. So again, like I said, we're still a balanced market no matter what's going on out there. It's not quite the buyer's market that everybody else is seeing. Home values are still raising. We're still seeing a rise in home values. We have over 300 houses on the market right now, which is good for our valley. So that does take the trend a little bit more towards buyers, but still balanced, like I said. So 85 days on the market, that's what we're seeing too. So longer market waits. So there you go.
So Mara, let me pause for a quick second. So Aaron, how long do you think Mara's been in the game? Let's just go to Aaron. I don't know if you guys have met each other. How long do you think she's been in the game?
Mara talks, from that feedback of Napa, you would think she's been doing it for at least like 5 to 10 years. Especially because she said she works with the older demographic. So like, in my opinion, if you're working with boomers, like, you have to know what you're doing. You have to be experienced. You have to be, a voice of experience and knowledge to people who are already older and have what they perceive as a vast amount of knowledge. So I would assume that she's been in her Napa market for at least 10 years.
I love that. Mara, how long have you been in real estate? You muted yourself on accident.
I've been in real estate my whole life, but I've had my license for less than a year. I've always wanted to do this. I've been watching it since I bought my first house when I was 20 years old in Napa. So it's So
as a profession, it's been 1 year.
Less than a year, yeah.
You guys, does it sound like she does her homework? Like, if I was going to buy a house in Napa and I sat down with her for a consultation, I would feel like this person knows her stuff. The question of how long you've been in the business would not even be in my mind at all, because you have so much certainty in what you are saying, and there is so much data that's backing it up. The one that has the most certainty in any conversation is the one that's going to have the most influence. You just influence the group based on your certainty, and so did Oliver from a completely different standpoint. So Mara, really, really good stuff. I will go to Ashley. Ashley, what did you hear from Oliver as well as from Mara?
Just like we always say, in different areas, different things, but yeah, they've both been doing their research. And when called on, put on the spot, they knew their stuff, which means that when they're in front of their clients, they know their stuff.
That's right. That's right. If they can spit fire here in this pressure cooker, then yeah, when they're sitting down having a casual conversation with their consumers, I'm sure it even sounds even better than what it was now. And this was great. So TT, I didn't forget about you, homie. You're going to go next. TT, the mic is on you. How is the market right now from your vantage point? I am a seller. I'm going to switch it up on you. I'm a seller right now. I know. All right, TT, just go with what you were going to go with. All right.
To Mara, who is my accountability partner, and I'm so thankful for her because she and I are completely opposite. She does her research, and I am queen talk a lot. So shout out to her. I get a lot of my information from just simply talking to people and building relationships. So from a seller standpoint, I was ready for the buyer.
All right. Hey, listen. Let's fire on the buyer side. Let's roll.
Okay, so for the buyer side, I live in Union City. This is my hood right now. I've been here for 3 years, and I have taken advantage of holding open houses here in Union City. Right next door, less than a mile, is Fremont, and Fremont is ultra competitive. Since I've been hosting these open houses, I've had a lot of people come into Union City saying, I'm looking for this 4-bedroom home, downstairs bedroom with a bathroom, or an ADU that's not available in Fremont. But there is a little bit more inventory in Union City, and it's slightly less competitive in Fremont. So the house that I've been holding open for the last few weeks hasn't had an offer. It's been on the market for 130 days. So when buyers come in, I'm like, this is your opportunity to take advantage of concessions, of just maybe offering a little less than the list price because of the conversations that I've been having with these buyers coming in from Fremont. So pretty much Union City is on sale in comparison to Fremont. So get in now because Fremont's less than a mile away. And this is awesome.
Right.
We're right next to the bridge. All you guys are commuting over there. Take advantage.
Oh God, I absolutely love this. I absolutely love this. And you know what I experience where I live in River Islands, and so many of the people that I meet here in River Islands, there's a huge Indian community here. They come from Fremont. And so it's like if I was to track migration reports, I would feel like a huge percentage of the migration comes from Fremont here. And I'm only speaking for the neighbors, people I've met here came from Fremont. And also a lot of people go from Fremont to like Dublin, to San Ramon, to Danville. And so as you start to grow and as you start to develop your craft, I would start talking about migration reports. Thinking about moving from Fremont to Dublin, Danville, San Ramon, here's a couple things that you need to know. Thinking about going from Fremont to River Islands to live in suburbia, here's a few things that you need to know. So really good stuff, TT. We're going to pause there, you guys. I want to make sure to respect everybody's time, but let's give them all a round of applause for all of their contributions. Everybody that has spoke today. I love this. Good stuff, you guys. Yes, that's right, Kia. All I see is this from Kia on her frame. So let's do this. I'm going to go around the room, get a couple key thoughts and takeaways. Michelle, you're going to be up first. Michelle, I'm going to go to you. Key thoughts and key takeaways from our time together today, big dog. Let's roll.
You know, my key thought for today, you guys inspire me every time I come on here, right? Straight up from the West Coast, I love y'all energy and what y'all are doing. The simple fact that we got to stay on top of the market, right? And what our updates are and just be that expert. Your little, the prompt you just gave today, that was so helpful because I put that in and it spit everything out that I need from Maplewood, New Jersey right now. So listen, I love this. Thank you, Elias.
Well, Michelle, good to see you. Hopefully I get to see you at EXPCon again this year.
Yes,
so wonderful, wonderful. Ashley, let's go over to you. Key thoughts, key takeaways from our time together today. Then we'll go Dominique. You'll wrap us up on this conversation. Let's go, Ash.
Key thought and takeaway is keep in contact with your buyers and sellers after you close consistently because they want to do business with you, but you have to be there in front of them and build that know, like, and trust and keep it going so that when they're ready again, you're still there.
I was working with a coaching client and she's in our market and she has like over 100 closed transactions in the last 3 years. And I was like, all right, where's the list? Let's pull up the list. Like, what list? I'm like, I want to see your list of all the people, what they bought the house for and what the current value of their house is. She's like, I doesn't have that. I don't have that. So well, we're going to work. We're going to work because now when she's making calls, that's where she's going to start making her calls. Portfolio review calls. You guys, this is a page right out of Roxanne's book. That's what she's been doing for 17 plus years. And man, it's worked for her. She has a thriving business. So Ashley, I appreciate you. Let's go, Dominique. Key thoughts, key takeaways from our time together today. Let's roll.
Hi, everybody. I am on my third sale. I'm almost there. So that means that I'm going to be graduating soon. And I've noticed one of the things is that, yeah, you do become like a very, like, good friend with your clients. And like, so I think that becomes easier for you to continue in touch. One of the things that I have implemented is just a list of questions for them. Things like, how did your house or what is a good memory of your home when you were a kid. And I try to put that when they arrive to their home and give them the keys. Or like I ask them, birthdays and things like that. So hopefully with that I can keep in touch. And yeah, so I have a lot of ideas. Obviously, I haven't been able to implement all of them, but little by little, I want to create these like SOPs where I'm like, following up through. I come from hotels, so like SOPs are my life. Um, and so once I have all of that, hopefully I can share it with you. But so far, it's more
Please.
ideas that I'm just like putting it out there. But I think what you said is great. Like, keep in touch, and like, just know, don't push them. Right now I'm working with one of my best friends, just trying to sell her home and then buy a new one. But yesterday she said, hey, I need to take a step back because they were going from like 0 to 100. And so I thought, that's perfect because I wanted to suggest that without being like, you know, delaying, their process. They were really excited, but I know them and I knew that that was the best step. So now I'm just, waiting, but I love them and they were like, we working with you. Like, that's what it is. But I think,
Love it.
it's important that we keep that momentum without being pushy. And I'm working on that, obviously. But yeah, thankfully I'm lucky to have another job right now to hold me together for that. But thank you for all the coaching because that helps me a lot.
Love it. And Dominique and I are working closely together. I think we're doing 6 weeks, her and I, one-on-one every single week. And I got to say that I've seen nothing but growth from you. So congratulations on all your growth. Listen, you guys, in the next session for next Wednesday, we're going to talk about separation season. Actually, we might even bring this up on Friday. From now until December 31st, this is going to represent separation season. What are we going to do? How are we going to market? How are we going to expose our stuff? How are we going to create more engagement, heighten awareness, heighten visibility, own our fame, all these things, you guys. You got an opportunity over the next 4 months to go full tilt inside of your business, to go full tilt in the way that your brand is exposed to the consumers. You guys, how do you want people to experience the brand? What is your brand? And are you a walking epitome of what you want and what you truly believe your brand to be? Let's build, let's create, and let's make sure that we really, really separate ourselves in this season because that's what the next 4 months are going to represent. So you guys, thank you for being here today. Thank you for all of your contributions, far, near, and everybody in between. I appreciate you guys. Much love. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and make today a day that truly matters. Peace, everybody.